Hi guys, we are on Sense 51, and if you're watching these real time in order, I apologize. I got really off track and have been out of town for a couple days and just all over the place. So we're back on track. We're going to be in the last 4 videos of this series, and the one we have today is so important. I feel like women all over the globe will be like, oh my gosh, this is a sense, and it's a sense that we need to pay attention to, like all the other ones. So if you've seen the title of the video, this is excessive stress and capitulation. So before we start, go ahead and do your 1 to 10, do any journaling you want to do, and maybe do a little bit of journaling on what you feel like this means to you. We'll do it before and after, once you've also been in a little bit of wild nature or with one of your plants or your pets, or looking out your back window, whatever works for you. So go ahead and do that journaling, and then let's talk about this sense of excessive stress and capitulation. Isn't it wonderful that this is a sense that we have when we are under too much stress? And of course, stress is all about perception, about our perception to handle what's coming up, but we all have our different levels of that for whatever reason. And to be able to notice that is so important, because otherwise we get stressed out and we get tired and we get run down and we can get sick. So having this sense and knowing it is a biological internal sense that we have to know when we are under too much stress, how amazing. I'm kind of taking this in 2 parts today. So when we do notice, for instance, today, I noticed when I sat down here to do just a really quick meditation before I started talking with you all, I noticed I've been kind of running all day. And this is something that is very common for me. And it's not so much I'm running around. We did a little bit of that this morning, but I ordered a whole bunch of organization tools, and I'm like redoing my kitchen, which is so much fun for me. I love organizing. I actually love cleaning. I love folding laundry. I don't love all cleaning, but I can often get really lost in just doing. So I noticed when I sat down here, oh, I haven't even been present in my body for the past couple of hours. I've just been like getting things done. And that is needed sometimes. That's important to be able to do that. But it is as important to be able to check in with ourselves, kind of come out of the doing, come back into our bodies, and notice when we have too much going on, so we can either sit down and rest. We can ask ourselves what we need, ask our bodies, really inhabit our bodies and check in with what we need in the moment then. And then also, if there's a bigger picture to that, where maybe we need to get a planner and start, like a calendar planner, or hire someone to be your planner, and really start to maybe have a little bit of structure. Maybe we need a little bit more structure. Maybe we need a little bit less structure. It's all about just looking into your particular situation and being in your body and feeling what it is you need in that moment, and maybe an overall picture of some things you can do to really provide yourself the opportunity to rest and recharge. Okay, the second part is capitulation. And this I'm just going to call people pleasing. We're so familiar with this. I think particularly as women, we are taught to put others' needs first before our own. It's also, I think this is my own theory. This is just something I think, that we are biologically predisposed to do that because we are the ones that carry and generally take primary care, breastfeeding, that kind of thing, generally, of children. So if we were not able to kind of suppress our needs, our children would not survive, literally. So if we were not biologically sort of predestined to be able to do that, our species would literally not continue. So that's just my theory on why so many women deal with kind of people pleasing and being on some scale of unaware of their own needs when someone else is in the room or in their mind. And then just culturally, we're often taught that as well. So this is one that's so important for us to really realize. This is a sense in our bodies. We know when we are capitulating to someone else, when we don't want to, and to really come back into our body again and really check in and at least give ourselves some time. If someone's saying, hey, can you do this for me? Hey, I want to schedule this. Can I put you in charge of that? At least make your automatic response, your default be, you know what, I need a little bit of time to think about that. Or, you know what, give me till tomorrow and I'll let you know. And then you can actually have the chance to check in with yourself, really sit with it, and feel into, is this really something I want to do or is it not? Now, we're not always able to do that. Some things are spontaneous in the moment, but taking that moment, if that's all we have, and making it a habit to really check in with our bodies before we do something, before we agree to do something. And this is a habit. It's a really, really sometimes challenging one for people to build, including myself. But it's also so important. And it's so important as parents for us to show this to our kids too. I think we're sold this message, particularly as mothers, that, you know, you give everything to your kids and you give up everything for your kids and you drop everything for your kids. Your kids are first. And of course, we want to make sure our kids are always safe and their needs are taken care of. But do we really want to show them this model? Because they're going to follow our model. They're going to internalize what they see us doing. Do we really want them to internalize that you give up what you need for someone else, for anyone else? And of course, it's a different story with infants and toddlers than it is with older children. But just, I just like to bring that up with people because it's something that we're so often not even questioning that we're doing. And I like to look at, you know, what actually am I showing my daughter by doing this? Is this a good thing or not? And I absolutely know within myself when I am capitulating to her or to anyone else, when I really don't want to be. And you know what? It never goes well. Either I do that thing half-assedly, half-heartedly, there's a little bit of resentment there, or there's a little bit of anger at myself, that resentment turned inward because I've agreed to do this thing that I really don't want to do. And none of that benefits anyone involved. And if you're someone I know, I was talking to a friend about this yesterday. If you're someone in my life, I would much rather have you be authentic. I would much rather have you say no. I would much rather have you wait until you're ready to text me back. I'm not sitting there waiting for a response. I know everybody's got their own lives going. I would much rather you not answer the phone until you have time to call me and I have time to talk to you. So it's always consensual, always, all the time, and nobody's capitulating to the other person. So I just love that this is one of the senses here. And I know this is a little bit of a longer video, but I really thought that it deserved the attention, at least 10 minutes of attention, with how much a part this plays into so many people's lives and how much time in our lives do we waste or spend doing things that really aren't heart-led for us, aren't something that's a calling for us. They're out of obligation or they're out of capitulation. So I think taking that time back, first of all, will give you more time in your life. Second of all, will bring you closer to your authentic self and living in alignment with your authentic self, which will make you happier, and healthier because you don't have that internal conflict going on. This issue of people pleasing is something I wrote about, so I'm going to do a little self promotion for a second. If you don't have my first book, Guided by Your Own Stars, this is one of the things I talk about in this book that actually keeps us from knowing who we are, who our authentic self is, and then knowing what it is that we love. What are our dreams that we actually want to do? Because if we're spending our time on focusing on what other people need, what other people want us to do, it's fine for them to ask. That's not a problem. But if we are not authentically checking in with ourselves and doing what we need to be doing in our lives that are the heart-led things, that are us being guided by our own stars, then we're really on the wrong track, and nobody's going to benefit from that, especially our kids seeing that. We want our kids to live their dreams and be authentic and know who they are, and the way they get to do that, at least one path, and a very powerful path, is to see their parents doing that. So I would encourage everyone to really tune into this sense, now that you know it's an actual biological sense that's going to attract us towards something healthier, that's going to keep us in balance with our environment, with our communities, with ourselves, with our families, with our household. And really pay attention to that and see what you're being attracted towards. Maybe you're being attracted towards saying, no, you know what? No, I actually don't want to do that tonight. I'm really going to sit on my couch and read. That's what I want to do. You know, or no, I really don't want to help plan that event. What I'd like to do instead is just take a walk in the woods. You know, really like checking in with what is it that we really want, and not so much focus on everyone else. So yeah, go ahead and do your journaling. Maybe spend a little time, like I said, with a potted plant, with a tree outside. Get your ass on the grass time. Whatever it is, if you can get into some wild nature and really just kind of soak that in and bring your journal out there, and then do a little bit of journaling about capitulation in your life and maybe stress, and looking at, are there any changes I really want to make? Because we have, as far as we know, in this form, at least in this body, one life. And we don't want to spend it resenting ourselves or anyone else because we've agreed to do things that are not in our highest calling. All right, have a wonderful night. Bye.